I feel like it's been a pretty hot minute since I've done a video. So, hello audience, I've returned. I want to first apologize for the lack of content. Even though this is only going to be my 5th video, my pacing is quite large. But I had plans to do a few videos, but what happened is that I went on a trip. I went to Europe, and then I would have done this video that I'm gonna do right now sooner, but then I got sick. Just been planning a wedding. I'm getting married in October, so that's exciting. And now I'm back, and I went on a trip to Europe for about 2.5 weeks, and I took the Sony 24-70mm F2.8 GM II, and it's my dream lens, and I want to share some thoughts on it. I don't know why I'm wearing this. It got hot in this room. Anyway, happy to be back. Happy to be filming again about photography and adventures. So yeah, it's been a hot minute. So I had rented the Sony 24-70 GM II, and I call it my dream lens for reasons that I'll tell you about at the end of the video, because in my kit I actually have the Sigma 24-70, and people may be asking, why do you have that, and why did you go rent what you call your dream lens? It's because I wanted to try it. I want to see what it was like and see if it's still my dream lens. I thought it would be best to first go over some specs before I dive into my use, like how I enjoyed, using the lens for about 2.5 weeks. I took it all over Europe. But yeah, so we'll go over some specs. So it is the second iteration of the 24-70 G Master series lens for the F2.8, whatever you want to call it. It's the second version of it. And I used the GM1 several years back. I went to the New Mexico Hot Air Balloon Festival, and that was really cool to go to. And I left that festival with some of the coolest pictures of my A7 III, and that made me want to try the second one. So we'll talk about a few specs. I have them off to the side right here. It weighs 695 grams, or around 2.46 ounces. Minimum focus distance of 8.3 inches at 24 millimeters, 11.8 inches at 70 millimeters. It's got a usual manual autofocus switch on the side. It also has an aperture ring that clicks or declicks depending on which button you have selected on the lens itself, which is new to the GM2. It's got two custom buttons, an iris lock, and it also has a smooth and tight button on it as well for the front barrel, so you can zoom to from 24-70. It's just a quick overview of specs. You've probably heard it from other YouTube videos maybe, or just looking at it online. But I mainly want to talk about what it was like to use compared to the Sigma. The first thing I noticed is that it felt lighter. It didn't feel as heavy to use as the Sigma did, more so front heavy, and that is good if it's like for travel, which is what I was doing. And the materials on it, it felt better very slightly. The construction of the hard plastics, it's very good. It's just like any other GM lens that Sony sells. You wouldn't expect anything less for spending, I don't know, how much it is to pay for this lens. And the buttons on it are nice. I will say that the smooth and tight button that's controls how much or how fast you can zoom on the lens felt kind of bad, honestly. That was like the only, I think, negative about using the lens physically. It felt like gritting sand in your hand if you were to pick up sand and then just like grit it. That was the kind of feeling it had when you're flipping the switch on it. I'm sure it's fine over long-term use, but or maybe it's just the copy I had that was kind of strange to use. When you select tight with it, tight is tight, and then it makes it hard and difficult to actually, you know, zoom in all the way to 70. And smooth is almost jostly, makes it very easy to kind of like go back and forth from 24 to 70. I mean, it's still nice to use. So now what is the image quality like? It's very, at this level that you're paying for, it's very, very difficult to try and even see differences between like a Sigma and the G Master and the new versions. It's so close, it's like splitting hairs. I know I say that a lot, but like at this level for like a hobbyist, you know, it depends what you're gonna do with the images at the end of the day, really. You know, me, I print my pictures like on big glossy paper, like this, or sometimes even on canvas like this. This is for the fiance. This is her favorite driver. It's a birthday present this week. And so spending that amount of money on something that's like a G Master level, you have to really justify spending, like, you know, compared to the Sigma. The Sigma version 2 is 1100, and then the G Master 2 is 2300. You really have to weigh, you know, is it quite a, you know, is it worth that image quality jump? You know, if you can't notice it on a computer screen right away. Even though I'm sitting here and saying, like, you know, that jump may not be worth it, I still got some incredible images from it. It was all very sharp. I will say that, you know, there's softness in the corners. You can see it if you zoom in, and then even chromatic aberration, you can see it again if you zoom in. From a distance though, you know, depending on your image, you may be able to tell that there is a difference, but it's nothing Lightroom can't fix. So really it comes down to, you have to figure out what you want to do with your images at the end of the day. If they're just gonna sit on a hard drive, or if you're gonna print them, or if you're gonna sell them. This next thing has been debated all over the YouTube space for people who take pictures and buy lenses and like camera gear. Is it worth the price difference to go from the Sigma to the Sony? And I've pondered this a lot, because every time I see people talking about this, they find some way to justify getting the Sony. And I'm a huge proponent that you should always go with the best if you can get it. But as you can see, I didn't want to go spend X amount of dollars to even go upgrade my Sigma, even though it's got flaws with dust inside it right now. Honestly, for me personally, at this moment in time with what I'm doing, until I become like a traveler for photography and bringing everyone on this adventure of, you know, you can go out and take these pictures. That's what I love this channel to be for in the future. If it can grow to that level, that would be amazing. At this moment in time, the Sigma gets the job done for me, and having used the Sony GM II for like 2.5 weeks, and then now going back to my Sigma, I'm not at all disappointed in what could be a downgrade or maybe even upgrade, because reviewing pictures, it's so close. The quality of images I'm getting from the GM2, and if I look at my Sigma photos, it's so close. I can't even tell if it's even worth this price jump. So, you know, if you look online at different videos, they'll say the Sigma DGDN Art version 2, I think that's the name of it, is just on par or even slightly better than the Sony in certain areas. Same people are also saying that the Sigma version 1 is slightly not as good as the GM2, which I'm going to agree with based on my experience of using it. So that being said, it's better. I think, you know, if you're traveling constantly, like I'm talking like you're traveling 3 times a week for specifically video or photo, I would say that it would be worth the price. But if you're just doing photos, I don't know if I can say the Sony would be better, And the reason I'm saying Sony for video is because native Sony glass tends to work better with Sony bodies. And I even noticed that when I took some video using this lens during my trip. If I had a choice right here and I didn't have my Sigma right now, I'd probably get the Sigma version 2 based on what I just said. You know, like I'm not traveling constantly, and the Sigma version 2 seems to perform at the same level, more or less, as the GM2. That leads me now into, you know, I'm busy saying that, but why do I call it my dream lens? Well, so I used the first version, you know, so many years ago that it left such a impact on me as taking pictures. And that really was the first time I used a high-end lens to take photos. And like I could use it during the day, and then I could use it also at night with a 2.8 aperture. I got some amazing pictures, and I thought to myself, like, wow, this is great. And I didn't even have the Sigma at the time. And so, you know, it eventually led me to getting the Sigma. But after using that, I thought to myself, man, like this is like the thing for me. You know, everyone always has like their thing that they want to get. And this is one of those things. But there's also a common saying, you know, don't meet your heroes because you may be disappointed. Well, I met one of my heroes and I wasn't disappointed, so I thought it was worth the rental asking price. So those are my thoughts on using the GM2 for about 2.5 weeks in Europe. I loved using it. Maybe I'll upgrade in the future if the dust in my Sigma gets so bad. At this moment, I'm not, you know, trying to break the bank and going to upgrade. So that's it from me. I'm happy to be filming again. As I sit here recording, I'm just getting excited about filming for the channel again. So I've seen it's grown. It's now over 150 subscribers. That was, you know, my goal was end of year to have just 100. But to have over 150 is great. So let's keep it going. So yeah, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and leave a comment. There's a lot of great interaction on the videos I've posted so far. So yeah, let's just let's keep it going. But anyway, that's it. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.